All right, traders, here we go with the watches video for Thursday, December 13th. Real quick, I want to show you this screenshot. If you weren't in chat today, I actually captured this screenshot because I just absolutely love the teamwork in the room. And I suspect there aren't too many chat rooms with the group like you guys who, many of you have taken our course. And know when you spot a big seller on a recent high flyer right at a half or a whole number that can be a powerful setup. And look at the number of posts. This UXIN, I'm showing you 2-minute candles here. So this broke out about 9:45, about 15 minutes into the session. Look at the number. I captured all the posts from 9:30 to 9:45. And look at all the posts of people identifying that seller at 650 on a recent high flyer, right? And look what happened when it broke. I'm going to start doing chat room searches more often and highlighting the great teamwork in this room because that's just fantastic. So very proud of the group that we've got. All right, so let's talk about the watch list for Thursday real quick. I've been talking about the market feeling heavy. Hang on, I'm going to do a sip of espresso here. I think I actually like espresso in the afternoons even more than I do in the mornings. But the market, again, today when it gapped up, it gapped up because it closed here. So it gapped all the way up near yesterday's high. And I'll show you the intraday. This is for those of you that weren't trading today. For a brief moment, right, 5-minute candles, it took out the high, challenged yesterday's high, then looked like it was going to roll over, and then look at that. Then back to highs. And I thought, okay, maybe we're seeing something where they're finally not selling the gaps up and then end of day, right? So it's still heavy out there. But we're still doing a great job of finding some great setups in chat. Just keep in mind, the market is, there's just been some crazy swings. I put out a chart the other day kind of highlighting. I'll see if I can find it real quick. All right, there it is. And this is a few days old. I captured this a few days ago. But the point of this chart is that the market usually is in kind of a controlled fashion. See here, you see how these are daily candles. Look how long it just stayed in an uptrend and then actually got fast to the upside, but still, you didn't see stuff like this in this circle, right? Then it happened again in a broader range, but still controlled. And then you had chaos. Then you've got chaos. But my point being, these periods of chaos are fast and furious usually, and then the market settles into some kind of range and you can trade normally again. So even though it's kind of crazy right now, the beauty of being a day trader is we can sidestep it altogether, or we can log in every day and look for those low risk A+ setups that occur on an intraday basis, after starting with an overnight watch list and then also building a gap playlist. So that's what I'm doing, but I'm certainly, I'm certainly taking profits more quickly and really making my entries matter. I'm not guessing. And there's really no time when I would say you should ever guess, but I mean, during more controlled periods like this, you don't always have that constant worry that the bottom's going to fall out or something. So I'm certainly taking profits pretty quickly, but trading's been going great. All right, so here's what I want to watch tomorrow. ARWR, great relative strength today, closing up slightly above the highs it had earlier this month. Maybe it's going to run and test these highs around 16. We'll see. Generally, the day after a sizable move on good volume, a lot of the times you have a lower volume kind of flat day, but we'll see. It's worth watching. CORT, this is weird because it moved from, let me give you some numbers here, from 1259 to 1738 yesterday, and then today gapped up, ripped, and then closed about where it closed yesterday. So I don't look at this and say, hey, longs are in charge or shorts are in charge, right? I just look at it and say, there's a lot of action here. I'm going to have it on a chart. UXIN, that's the chart I just showed you on an intraday basis. You guys were all over this setup today. Now, look at how many days in a row up and, very toppy looking, right? This big topping tail. Is tomorrow the day to trade it? Probably not. I mean, it feels like it'd be a better short than a long, but it's also been crazy strong. So who knows? But this, anytime as a day trader, you've got wide ranges like this and massive relative volume, you're doing yourself a disservice to not have it on a chart as you're trading. IMMY, very strong stock. It's extended. It's away from the moving averages, but a very strong stock overall, especially relative to the market. You had a really nice 2-day run here and here. And then today, an inside day, but it still closed above its open. So again, it's extended, but I think it's worth having on watch. It's given a couple decent setups lately. HSGX penny stock, but coming out of a nice base here, extra volume today, and over 60 cents looks like a breakout. Certainly worth watching. The only problem I have is it popped intraday today, and no one can figure out why. So I don't know if it was just a chat room somewhere or what, but it held up pretty well. So I want to watch it tomorrow. Cron, I almost, hate's a strong word, but I almost hate this stock. But anyway, again, this is the one with a big investment by Altria. And it's ever since the gap up 4 sessions ago, it has not, and I'll show you 15-minute candles. You guys know this is one thing I look for. It never broke its early high, the day of the gap up, or the next day, or the next day, or today. The fact that now it's kind of down into this gap, it still doesn't bother me. I still think this could get a nice bounce one of these days. And what I want to see is an afternoon break out of a range. So if I don't get that, I probably won't trade Cron. But I do think after that investment by Altria and the gap up, I think the gap up is almost acting like a magnet. It just feels heavy. It can't get going at all. But one of these days, if we get an afternoon breakout of a range, I think you could see a nice pop in Cron. And as a day trader, doesn't cost you anything to have it on a chart and see if you get that setup, right? FedEx, I've been watching for a bounce for a few days. It's just been decimated from 235-ish down to 188-ish. No trades in it again today, but still watching for a bounce. See if we get any kind of low risk setup. Mosaic MOS has fallen pretty far, pretty fast. And the 200 days right here under 30. So if this were to flush 30 tomorrow, you also had a bounce off the 29.5 area back here in October. So if I can get a big sell-off early, I love it down here for an intraday bounce. I'll use candlesticks for my entry probably if we do get a setup. But I think it's worth watching. And AETI put in a green day after this huge 2-day move, and it's been bleeding lower ever since. It did get down to that area, right, between the 8 and the 20-day, and put in a nice bounce today. Volume has really fallen off the map on this, but maybe it takes out today's high tomorrow and heads up and tests and maybe breaks through $1 or something. So it's worth having on a chart. And then lastly, NBEV, NBEV. Keep in mind, this has really been running for like 5 days straight. The reason it's on the list is it's trading right now, and I'm making this video at 5:35 Eastern. It's trading at $6.82. So I guess the Farm Bill passed. And that's really, I guess this is the pot stock, the Farm Bill play, apparently. Somebody posted in chat something about it, where they'll be able to sell their product everywhere or something if this bill passes. So I haven't done any research on it, but NBEV has been super strong. Just keep in mind, I'm going to treat it like a gap play tomorrow, assuming it holds up, right? But it's been moving up. A lot of times you get buy the rumor, sell the news. So we'll keep that in mind. But I certainly will watch it as a gap play tomorrow, especially if it holds up. And that's it. That's all I've got. Another great day in the chat room, and we'll see you all tomorrow.